Okay, everyone, let's continue. And in this video, we are going to start from a Twitter dataset, and we want to load the Twitter, and then we want to count how many distinct entries in a specific column. Okay, and say we have the Twitter data loaded, and then we know, well, there is a column called lang, and that is for language. And if you want to see the head, and then you will see there are really a lot of the entries. So somehow the language is not shown in the header, but okay, well, it should be somewhere in the middle. Okay, so anyhow, our first task will be we want to grab the language column, and then we want to count how many distinct languages are there. Okay, and then I want to get the distinct. Well, there are several distinct languages. I want to count how many languages are there for each of the specific language. Okay, and we want to produce something like this. So for this one, the EN for English, and we have a 97 of them, and we do have two other ones, and I suspect this is undetermined. Well, UND, it seems that that's for undetermined, but I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let's see how we can do that. And remember, we are trying to create a dictionary, right? So the key, it will be one language, and then the value will be the count of how many tweets were written in that language. Okay, so we want to create a dictionary, and that will be the language counter, and we grab that specific column. And after that, we want to visit all the entries one by one, and we want to use the information of that language to build the dictionary. So the process will be, if we see a existing language, so this language has already been seen before, and this means, well, this language is already a key in the dictionary. And what we want to do is we want to find that entry and find that key value pair, and then we want to increase the key by one, right? And in otherwise, say if that language has not been added as a key to the dictionary, and then I do want to add that language into the dictionary, and then the initial value should be 1 because that's the first time I have seen that language. So this is how the coding works. So we are going to visit each of the value in that column, and then, well, if that language is in the keys, and then I want to find use that key, find that value, and then increase that value by 1. And otherwise, if that key is not in the dictionary yet, so I want to add that key into the dictionary, and the value, the initial value, I want to put a 1 because that's the first time I have seen that language. Okay, so far we do have this functionality work. Well, the problem is if you have a different data set, and you have exactly the same task, do you want to copy and paste this piece of the code and then to another place? Is there a better way to do that? Because, well, this function could be used for exploratory data analysis, and we want to have the number of the distinct language, but we may want to do that for other columns as well. So this task could be repeated by different people or on different data set, or just by you on the same data set but on different columns. So the question is, what can we do if we don't want to copy and paste the code several times? The answer is we want to put that into a function. So let's see the plan. Well, we want to create a function called count entries, and we are taking two parameters. One is a data frame and another one is a column name. Okay, and then in this process we kind of will do the same thing. However, remember, we create a dictionary, and that's called lang counts. So this variable name suggests that we are counting languages, but that's not true anymore. So you want to pick another variable name for that. But again, the plan is the same. We are taking a data frame, we are taking a specific column name, and we are using that column name and to return the value counts in that column name. Okay, so go ahead and try to fill in the data here, and then we have the testing code. We want to, number one, count the different number of the languages, and number two, we also want to count the distinct favorite counts. Okay, and after that, I have already pushed a President Trump's dataset. So, you can go ahead and load this President Trump dataset, and you can play with this dataset a little bit. And for example, we can count how many clients are there. So, a client means, what kind of the app President Trump used to do the tweets. And you will find that, he's using iPhone really a lot, but he's also using a few different clients. And the question is that also him, or is it could be someone else trying to push some data on behalf of President Trump? We don't know that, but this is interesting to see. And if you want to do the tweet type, and then you will see more than half, almost half of the President Trump's tweets were retweets. So he sees something and he retweets it. Okay, the point for this part is, if you create a function. So after you create this function, and then this can use on the same dataset on different columns, or if you have a different dataset, this function can be used as well. So go ahead and try to fill in the function here, and then try to test it. And I will go through my solutions in the next video.